Hello, I'm Dr. Nisikowski,
Hi, I'm Julie.
and so we're going to do a review of Hidden Strike American Revolution. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out our unboxing and our how to playthrough video. So let's take a look at what this game's about before we give you our opinions about it. Let's see here. There is a right camera. All right, so you're going to have this map board that shows the 13 colonies. And so even though this map doesn't show it, there'll be blocks here of forces, local forces and the British forces that will come from across the sea. And the Americans will have some allies forces here, and they'll have local forces here. And basically it's a tug of war where you're going to be playing cards to place forces into the conflict zone. And how does, if you're playing co-op or solitaire, which is what we played, the Americans need to win 4 of these 6 zones. The British will break ties, so that's why 3 out of 6 isn't enough. And so how do you resolve a zone? Well, when one side has at least 8 points of units in there, and they have at least 2 units more than the other side, so if the British have 8 here, and the Americans have 6, 8 versus 6, this would resolve it, and the British would win it. Which means you could go even, so if it was 8-7, the British would have to go to 9 to beat it. So you're going to play, it's a card management game, area control, and a tug of war, and that can be played solitaire, co-op versus trader, or even mastermind, where you have one person playing the English against many different American players. All right, so that is a quick little overview of it. Let's take a look at how you rate it. Now, keep in mind that I bought this, I backed this Kickstarter to try to find different games that Julie might like to play. We've played some other games of this type. The Hungarian Revolution one that I backed on Kickstarter, you didn't like it. You and David, we played it. Quartermaster, the World War II one, you didn't mind that one. We just haven't played it again in a while. She doesn't remember that one.
I don't remember.
But the fact that she doesn't remember, what does that tell you? So I'm always trying to find, historical war games that I can try with Julie. So keep that in mind that Julie's not really the target audience here, okay?
Not at all.
Where I grew up with SPI and Avalon Hill games. So you're going to see a little difference in reviews here. So don't be shocked.
Big difference in reviews. Big.
All right, so here we go.
Huge. Okay. I have a lot more than positive, and it's nothing against the game at all. I did find the history facts really interesting, especially when David and I were playing together. He would fill me in on things that I just didn't remember or didn't know, and I really liked that. The art is really pretty. They did a really nice job.
Let me show some of that. Well, you
Yeah,
keep on
please
talking.
do. It could be difficult for inexperienced gamers, especially if you are not a war gamer type of person like I am.
Yeah, you couldn't learn this on your own.
I could not learn it on my own. I could not play it on my, competitive against him. There's just no way. Yeah, there's the art.
So
Look
these
how
are probably
pretty.
pictures taken from public domain paintings, I'd imagine. Now, the publisher could let me know that they hire somebody for these. But regardless if they did or not, they did select really good art here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, moving back to the
Okie dokie. I was happy that we played this cooperatively. Pretty much, I did have my own cards, but David had to help me quite a bit in the beginning of what to play, and we talked about, should we do this or this? And there were times I did, decide on my own, okay, let's do this. But for the most part, I just kind of let him take over, and I just said, okay, I like this card or whatever.
Yeah, which leads to your last point. It can lead to alpha gamer.
And he definitely was the alpha gamer. I just kind of followed his lead, and whatever he said, let's do this, I was like, okay.
Well, you did. You did come up with options, but
very
because
rarely.
I was a more experienced gamer, you deferred to my judgment more often.
Because I didn't really know what was best to play or how to play it, and some of the cards I just could not understand exactly what they were wanting you to do either, and that was a little confusing for me. So
right, again, it requires more experience to play this game than other games. It's not like Risk, for instance.
No, Risk I can do by myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But this I could not. And the game, I think if you're really into war games and you're really into this kind of thing, you will probably really, really like it. If you're someone like me, you'll just want to kind of tag along with the alpha person and just kind of do it, do what they tell you to
Well,
do.
you're not the target audience, and
No.
that's all right. So let's get to where I am the target audience.
Yeah,
and see
see
what
what
I
you-
had to say. All right, so it's accessible like Pandemic, but needs a better rule book. So if this rule book, now if those of you who know my channel and my research, I did my dissertation on how to write comprehensible rule books. This rule book would fall into, on my chart that I proposed, there's the pleasurable category, the annoying category, and the category where you may give up.
Oh.
Frustrating category. So this is probably in the upper annoying category. Now, why do
Okay.
I say that? For your experienced gamers, you're going to get through this no problem. But it does require you, when you're referencing, to, so if you look right here, you have rules in the setup area, which is what you shouldn't do. Okay?
Shouldn't?
Should not do.
Ah.
Because I have to reference this, and then you get into the mode rules right here. Okay. So then I have to keep in mind what I'm reading here, and then the setup rules, and then you have to reference another section
Oh my gosh.
about the cards.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, which has some rules in there that should be in the other section.
Oh.
So, look, for someone who's an experienced gamer, you can get through it, but it can be a little frustrating.
Yeah.
So, some reorganization of this, you could write a rule book like Pandemic. And why do I mention Pandemic?
I don't know.
Because in my dissertation, Pandemic came in as out of the 8 rule books that were evaluated. Pandemic was number 1.
Oh wow.
Everybody, all the 50 plus forms that I referenced that suggested poorly and well written rule books. Everybody who mentioned Pandemic said it was a well written rule book.
Wow.
Okay, and it also scored the highest on the performance list.
Well, go Pandemic.
Okay, and Pandemic is a good seller. Now, like I said, this could be a Pandemic. Could appeal to people who play Pandemic, but you would need to write the rule book to make it more accessible. That's all I'm saying. If that's not your goal, to make it more accessible to the mass market, then don't worry about it.
Right.
Okay. Like I said, I was able to get through it.
Maybe they're gearing it just to people like you that really like war games.
That's right.
stuff.
Now they are.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they actually have something here they could market to people who play Pandemic. They just need to do some more things to make it more comprehensible, more accessible.
I got you. Okay.
All right. So that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Okay. It has tense decisions. So when you watch this in the playthrough, and we're looking at the cards here, you're having to decide, okay, because you have 3 cards, am I going to play this one, or am I going to upgrade something to try to find a card? And then you're looking at what the British are doing, you know, how much they have in a conflict zone, and what cards. So it does pay to play this game more than once. I'm getting better at playing it. So that was our 3rd or 4th time playing it. So, and I still don't know the deck as well as I should, because we haven't won it yet.
I thought we won.
No, we did not. We were close to winning.
Oh,
So
darn.
beautiful art, nice components. It does have educational enrichment. Now, why am I saying enrichment? Because as a classroom teacher for over now 25 years,
Yeah.
I would not play this with a traditional classroom. I
No?
would use this for AP students, or for if I had a game club, or I had a pull-out gifted and talented situation, or after school that I had
okay.
students that were interested in this subject. This would be perfect for them. Would I try to teach this to a total class and have 4 copies of it? Probably not.
Really?
No, because
Too hard.
the reading that it takes to figure out the logic of how you do things requires experience.
I got you.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And again, it could be modified, the wording on the cards, to make it more accessible to non-gamers.
Oh, okay.
You'd have to work on that.
Yeah.
So anyways, it does definitely have educational enrichment for, like I said, AP, International Baccalaureate, honors, gifted and talented, or a game club that's interested in this subject.
Yeah.
All right, so co-op solo may be too difficult because it requires a lot of experience. You had to have played this game several times to even get used to the deck, because part of the strategy is that you might have to search for a card. Now remember, we're only reviewing the co-op solitary mode. We have no idea what the mastermind, the trader version modes would be like. Okay. Now, expected more. When I first got this, I was a little bummed out reading it, going, wow, I thought there was going to be more about the political aspect of it, the political navigation or the economic navigation. And that's okay that it's not. But my expectations were where you're going to have to do more diplomacy or more economics because they had trouble raising money, for instance,
Oh, really?
doing things. So that's okay that it's not. But from an educational standpoint, it can come across through the cards, some of those connections. It's just that you got to have somebody who knows the event to help students make those connections or help people make those connections.
That's why I said it was nice when we were playing, because you would teach me, some of the stuff that I just either didn't know or just didn't remember. I liked that.
So it makes you wonder if that was considered in the design to make that more transparent, so that with mechanics in the games. Right now, it's pretty much tug of war. You're playing. You're basically moving forces around, and forces determine it. Whereas, if it wasn't for the behind-the-scenes stuff going on, of going to France, of going to Spain, of getting them to ally with us,
right.
I thought maybe there would be more. That would be more apparent. All right, so let's take a look at how we reviewed it. So again, keep in mind who the target audience is.
It's not me.
All right. So Julie, you said mediocre.
I did, and again, it's nothing against the game. It's just not my type of game. I can take it or leave it. If he really wanted to play it as a co-op thing, and I was in the mood and I wasn't too tired, sure, have a glass of wine while I do it. I'm down. But I would never suggest, hey, let's play this game, because it's just not my type of game.
Well, you know what? One thing you might like that we haven't tried it is the mastermind mode. If we bring over a couple more people, you and those two other people versus me, for instance, when I play the British.
As long as I'm with other people, I cannot do this by myself.
Right.
It's the bottom line.
I don't think trader mode would work for you, because I think you might mess that up. So if Julie was a trader,
I'd tell him.
You should probably do something that, like, well, we know you're the trader now.
Yep.
So she's not good at those.
No,
games.
I'm not good at those games at all. And if I did this with other people, I would pretty much just kind of sit back and let them do it, and I would just play a card. It's just not for me.
So for me, it's a 7. Good, usually willing to play. So if my brothers were here in town and my sons weren't
so busy.
Yeah, they're too busy to play games. I would definitely play this with them, and I'm going to keep this in my collection.
Yeah.
And like I said, I do look forward to playing it again in the future. In the solitary mode, like I said, this is a game where you play it, and this is a good thing, definitely a good thing, where you play it and then you're thinking, what could I have done differently next time? Just like a movie that you see, and you think about it, and you keep on thinking about the movie after you've seen it. This is that type of game where after you play it, you're thinking about what could I have done differently. Now, what that means, though, is that you do have to start understanding the strategy. You have to play it several times before. And so one person on Board Game Geek said, I don't think this is winnable under solitaire. I think it is.
Do you?
You just have to know the deck so well. Now, you could get unlucky because it is a deck game, okay?
Yeah.
With cards. But it's going to take more plays for me to, it's more rewarding for those who play it more.
Well, there you go.
Kind of like a video game. The more you play a video game, the better you get at it. I guess you can look at it that way, too.
Yeah. Well, it's just like anything. The more you practice it, the better you get, and you might enjoy it more. I still, no matter how much I play it, it's still not my type of game.
Yeah, that's okay.
Which is okay.
All right. Well, anyways, that's our review of Hidden Strike. And again, I am happy that we backed this on board. I mean, on Kickstarter.
On Kickstarter.
You're probably not as happy, but that's okay.
If it makes him happy, I'm happy. Personally, it whatever makes him happy, I'm good with.
Yeah. But hey, at least you played it.
I did.
And you tried it.
I did try it.
Appreciate that.
You're very welcome anytime.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, please check out our other videos, and thanks for watching.
Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.